Yeah. How important is that for you as an extract brand, like to like spread knowledge to the
extremely.
consumer?
A lot of times people are looking at it like, oh, well, I just want THC. I want the most I can get. And it's like, realistically, what you should be looking for is more terpenes. You should be looking at flavor profiles. You should be looking at the various cannabinoids that are in your extract, because THC has its place, but the various cannabinoids like CBN, CBG, THCV, all those things are going to be what provide a lot of the medicinal benefits of cannabis. And so, like, you know, if you want something that's going to provide you the ability to not have pain, but you also still want an uplifting euphoric high, then look at a strain that's going to have a good THC but also a high CBD count.
Hey yo, we put free money where the mic is. He got it on lock like Rikers. Green rebates get you paid, so a lot of people like us. Money Talks Podcast, watch it on all your devices. Woo!
Welcome back to the Money Talks Podcast. I'm here with Robert from Extractor Depot. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course, brother.
You're a popular guy.
Man, I'm trying.
I mean, you're speaking at 2 different seminars, right?
Yeah. I speak today at 11:50. Today at 4 o'clock, and then tomorrow at 11:15.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be in Minnesota? You guys are based in, do you live in LA?
So no, I live actually in Oklahoma, but I've lived in LA for a little bit, but I'm actually from Texas. But I like y'all's market. Y'all's market is new. I can tell that it's in its infancy, but the thing that I also love about it is that you guys have a lot of passion. So everybody that I've talked to today has actually cared about the plant, which is something that I haven't seen in a lot of the I guess some of the older, more established markets. Some of it has become a lot more commoditized.
Right. Yeah. So you're obviously passionate about cannabis. Where does this come from?
So honestly, I've only been working in cannabis about 4 years now. But when my oldest son was born, at about 16 months, we got him diagnosed for autism, and so. When there's a bunch of horror stories out there of people who have tried to use RSO, Rick Simpson oil, to help autistic individuals and people with epilepsy. And so there's a particular story out of Texas, that's where I'm from, where a little boy was taken from his parents, and then the foster care he was ended up putting him into, he ended up passing away. But all the parents were trying to do was give him Rick Simpson oil. And so from there, I was like, well, I got approached to be in the cannabis industry, and I never looked back. And then as soon as I found out it was in the extraction side where I can help people make extracts more safely and affordably, I was like, oh, let's do it. Yeah,
wow.
all day. Yeah.
So what'd you work in before cannabis?
I was a baker.
A baker?
I was a literal baker,
a banker?
Yeah, a baker.
A baker?
I made bread.
No way.
Yeah, I was literally a baker. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I took the production, I basically took my knowledge of production and applied it over to the processing side, because it's all production. Yeah.
So, what are the similarities between baking, like the main similarities?
Yeah, so it's all production based. Like I said, basically you get a set amount of, like you get basically a camp that's going to come to you, or a dispensary that's going to come to you. They say they want a certain amount of weight of product. And at that point, it's now time for you to create a production schedule on how we're going to fit that. So what ingredients are you going to need in order to do that? How much biomass are you going to need to do that? How much gas you're going to need to do that? And then you're going to need to break that down into an actual production schedule of how often your extractors are going to need to be working, and then what time frames are going to need to hit in order to produce that product.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for someone, I'm pretty new to the industry, and I'm learning a lot. Every time I talk to someone, it's an overload of information. And then I have to go sit down and process, and I probably retain 5% of it, but that's still 5% more than I had before.
100%.
But so tell me about the process of extracting.
So there's basically 4 major methodologies of extraction, and then people will come in and say there's more, but there's 4 major extraction methodologies. There's hydrocarbon, there is ethanol, there's CO2, and then there is solventless. And so our bread and butter is hydrocarbon. That's using basically liquid petroleum gases to strip the oleo resin from the biomass, and then from there you're basically taking it into a desiccant or like a bentonite clay to clean it up or to remove some of the pigments from the oil, because everybody likes pretty oil. And then so from there, then you're basically purging the ethanol or the butane out of the solution, and then you're able to then take it and sell it or package it up there. But yeah, that's it.
So what does the end product look like?
The end product is going to be like a batter, shatter, or a wax, and then that's going to determine based off how much fat is in the actual solution at the end of the day. But it's going to be those whipped kind of yellowish batter looking, or the sugary stuff that's in that sauce kind of deal. Mm-hmm.
And in Minnesota is kind of like a newer market, and they haven't really adopted extraction quite yet.
Yeah. So a lot of what I'm seeing is,
how do you think they're going to respond to
it's all solventless? That's literally what I'm seeing so far. Everybody wants to get into solventless because it's the easiest barrier to entry. Mm-hmm. All you need is ice water. And so, but from there, I mean, you guys do have some people who are making distillate, and you guys are making some pretty good distillate. Some of the carts and stuff are really awesome. So yeah, man, I'm really interested to see where y'all's market goes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not in the Minnesota market. We're based in Washington.
There you go. Oh,
But,
a nice market.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of all over the place. We do business in other states, but so what's like? Take me through like an average day working for Extractor Depot. A day in the life.
A day in the life. So honestly, it's very interesting because, like I told you, we do the consultation. So it just all depends. Like I might get called out to a lab, and that lab might have some kind of issue where they're running propane and they don't know why they're getting the solution, or they're getting the color that they're getting, or they're not able to recover their gas. And so a lot of times it'll be me going out to a lab and troubleshooting what they're doing, looking at their chillers, seeing what their chillers are spec for, seeing what their SOP is, following through with that, and then just really trying to define it out and get it to where it's more structured and lined in. That way they can actually produce what they're looking to produce, but then at the end of the day make money. We're trying to squeeze every dollar from every drop of oil. That's really what we're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And the people who use extractions, are those like, how many of those people are using it like recreationally versus medicinally?
That's a good question. I would say, that's a really good question. I would say most locations would tell you that it's probably a 70 medicinal, like 30 recreational, but I would tell you it's probably along the lines of like a 60-40 split, like
Gotcha.
recreational. Most people are using extracts on the recreational side versus the medicinal side just because it has a much higher efficacy rating. So it's it's a lot more fun, and then like the disposables right now very much are fruity, and they cater to the walk, and they go outside.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when someone's taking a dab, is that an extract?
Yeah, so that would be an
Form of
extract. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where, because I remember in high school when people would graduate from flour,
Yep,
and they
yep,
it's
yep.
typically you graduate
That's usually
from
where it
flour
goes.
and
Yep,
go to extract?
Yeah. It's getting a lot faster now because basically any disposable or any cart is extract. So like even with people getting exposed very often now, people are getting exposed to carts right out the gate. So that's giving you the same efficacy as taking a dab. And
Wow.
so like you look up and you've been smoking carts for 3 months. Now you're going to be able to take dabs and be totally fine.
Oh,
yeah.
dang.
Yeah. So it's like, 100%.
Do you
Yeah.
smoke extract?
I do.
Is that
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you on extra? Because like I've done it one time and it actually was more intense than taking the most acid I've ever taken in my life. Extracts, it is a psychedelic hallucinogenic.
Yeah,
for
depending
someone
on
who's
making
not
it.
ready for it.
Oh, definitely.
You know?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 100%. If you've never done it before, I definitely tell people to advise walking that line gingerly. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. How important
Yeah.
is that for you as an extract brand, like to like spread knowledge to the
extremely.
consumer?
Yeah, extremely. A lot of the time, I would say most of the market isn't, like, even on the recreational side, most of the market isn't very knowledge based, and so a lot of times people are looking at it like, oh, well, I just want THC. I want the most I can get. And it's like, realistically, what you should be looking for is more terpenes. You should be looking at flavor profiles. You should be looking at the various cannabinoids that are in your extract, because THC has its place, but the various cannabinoids like CBN, CBG, THCV, all those things are going to be what provide a lot of the medicinal benefits of cannabis. And so, like, if you want something that's going to provide you the ability to not have pain, but you also still want an uplifting euphoric high, then look at a strain that's going to have a good THC, but also a high CBD count.
Got it.
But a lot of times people don't look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't. What's like a common mistake a lot of like new cannabis consumers make?
Just wanting THC, just wanting high THC. They see something in the dispensary that says 95%, and then, like you literally just said, you're going to get an experience that's going to be much more psychoactive than it is anything that's traditional to the actual medicinal side of things.
Got it. And your company specifically, like, why? I mean, the fact that you're, at a trade show in Minnesota, and the fact that a lot of people talk, like, I've heard about Extractor Depot before I even met you. Like, what do you attribute your company's success to?
Not taking advantage of clients. So a lot of times what I tell, like, I'll a lot of times shoot myself in the foot. I will tell a client in the beginning that I'm not going to sell you something that you don't need. At the end of the day, if I sell you a 100-pound system, but you can only process 20 pounds in a day, why did I do that? And it's going to behoove me much more to provide you with a solution that fits your business, so we can continue to work together and I can grow you, rather than just sell you something out of the gate and you end up going under.
Yeah.
So that's really where we try to hit our bread and butter, and that's where we really try to meet people at their business level and try to supply them with things that are actually applicable to their business and not oversized, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah. And do you work with a lot of farmers? Like,
okay.
100%,
yeah. Truthfully, right now, the most advantageous prospect for us to work with are people who have nothing and they already have a grow and they're looking to kind of grow into everything, because we're really, over the past year, we've really been setting up cultivators to process across the board with some of our products to where they can not have to worry about going a lot of the post-processing route and having to shell out $500,000. We can save them a lot of money. So, if you're already up and running, we can help you and we can get you much more laden and defined. But truthfully, if you're getting started, right now is the time to really talk.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And have you seen more and more cultivators, like in the last 5 years, kind of go down the extraction route?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is that why do you think it's kind of been become so popular?
Everybody's gonna have trim. So really, everybody's going to eventually, you're going to end up getting sugar leaves, you're going to end up with trim, you're going to get your A buds at the top, you're going to have your mids at the bottom, and so a lot of times you can sell your A's, but you can't do anything with that lower stuff. And so it's and also too, your trimmers, if they're trimming and you have sugar leaf all over the floor, all that can be extracted. So that's all just wasted money you're just throwing in the trash.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, because I remember trimming weed too, and we would put all the trim in a bag, and then someone would come and buy them.
Yeah.
So that's what he was doing.
Yeah, he was going and extracting it. Yeah. So that's money that you could be making if you're just having trim, bags and bags of trim. You can have that and you can extract it yourself. Even if it's not hydrocarbon and it's ethanol.
Yeah.
You could do that and make tinctures with it and sell it.
So how much, say for one huge bag of trim, after extracting it, how much money, how much can you profit off of that?
Ooh, that's a good question. So realistically, let's say you wanted to say you had roughly 40 pounds of trim in a bag and you wanted to extract it, and you would get about 10% off that trim. That's going to be about 4 pounds of product. Some markets are getting up to $1,000 per pound, but if you wanted to go further than that, make it into isolate or make it into distillate, you can make more. I have some camps that are in Missouri that are getting up to $12,000 per liter. Wow. So it just depends on where you're trying to take it to and what you're trying to go with it. But again, those are all things we can help with. Yeah.
What market is killing it the most right
Probably
now?
Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri. I've been hearing
probably.
about that.
Just because Missouri did it the right way, they limited the amount of licenses they have, and they're not really talking about giving more. So the people who are locked in are the people who are locked in, and they're working together. So that's the beautiful thing. They're actually working together, and they're actually trying to work together, where a lot of the markets like Oklahoma, I hate to talk about my state, but Oklahoma, a lot of it is typecast knowledge. Nobody's trying to share what they're doing.
Yeah, we were chatting about that on the way here. How important is it to spread your knowledge instead of gatekeeping
Well, it's extremely.
your knowledge?
I mean, what are we doing here at the end of the day? This is a plant that was literally made to help people, and the medicinal benefits of this plant, they're still out rolling every day. They're still finding out that there's new things that they can do as far as PTSD, epilepsy. So why would anybody want to gatekeep any kind of medicinal benefit of anything? This should be shared across the boards, medicinally across the boards. It should be open source information for everybody. Yeah.
You've worked with so many companies. I'm sure you've worked with a lot of successful companies. You probably worked with some companies maybe that didn't last. All the companies that do find success, what do they all have in common?
SOP, defining in, tracking their SOPs. You should be able to determine what your price per gram is. If you can't determine what your price per gram is, that's a major problem right there. Every single company that I've dealt with, I deal with one really big company, I'll refer to them, they're Curaleaf, out of New York, all over the country. But again, they're one of the most defined in companies when it comes to SOP, tracking what their actual ability is for their product, what their gas is going for, how much they're making, and it's really just having that handle on your process. Again, like I said, it's all production based. It's really understanding how much flour am I putting in to make this cake. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Do a lot of people cut corners, or do you see a lot of people not being as I'm not thinking of the word, not being as
meticulous?
Meticulous.
As they should be, 100%. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's also I attribute that also for the infancy of the industry as a whole. Because again, this industry was bred just less than 30 years ago. This industry was bred deeply in black market. And so it's you take something that's just this new, you can only imagine what the gold rush looked like. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people are going to cut corners because they still can, because a lot of markets still don't know. So even the state regulators don't know. So they might walk into a lab and they don't realize that piece of equipment isn't OEM, or they don't realize that piece of equipment is UL certified or something like that. Well, yeah, they're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to tell you at all. Yeah.
Damn. So you as someone who works with cultivators and cannabis brands from across the country, do you think cannabis is in a good, overall, do you think the industry's in a good place right now? I know it's a loaded question.
There are some shining bits that I feel super excited for. And then there also are some glaring things that I think need to definitely be addressed. Some of the things that I feel super duper excited about are some of the states that are coming on, some of the things that they're still learning. So we still see a lot of drive and push forward to understand the plant, again, like what different cannabinoids are doing to the actual system on the human body. So like that drives me with a lot of hope for the future. But then again, like some of the practices I see just to get product onto the market, some of the different things that I see on the other side with the municipalities trying to understand the regulatory side of the market and what it does to getting product on the shelf. So like in like legal states, like in Oklahoma, for example, you'll go into a dispensary that's to the tins. You got to provide them your cards and all that stuff. And you'll look at the product on the shelf, and the product will have been on the shelf for 6 months. But you'll go into a dispensary that we'll refer to it as shades of gray. That dispensary has product that was produced less than 2 weeks ago. And so it's like, dispensaries that aren't maybe up to complete par are producing higher quality and fresher material than the dispensaries where you have to go and do all this stuff to get into. And that's a major barrier to entry. That's a major problem. And that's some of the things that need to be addressed in this industry. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to finish this interview, and thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
amazing. But I'm going to finish this interview with. So basically, we do cannabis trivia, and there's we ask everybody 5 questions. Zero, not one person has gotten all 5 of them correctly.
Don't do me like that.
But I think you could do it.
Oh no.
So I'm just going to ask you 5 basic cannabis-related
Okay.
questions. Do your best. Like I said, no one's gotten all 5, so don't
Okay,
feel
let me
bad if you
see.
don't get them all right. Number 1, what was the first U.S. state to legalize recreational cannabis?
Woo. I want to say California, but I think wasn't it Oregon?
It was Colorado.
It was Colorado. Oh man.
No one gets that one.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Number 2, name 2 pieces of grow equipment you can get rebates for.
Lights and I want to say HVAC?
Yeah, good job.
Okay, yeah.
Look, it's literally right there.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah. I was like,
Number 3, this is a culture question. What rap group made the song Hits from the Bong?
Cypress Hill.
Yes!
Yeah, all
When
day.
people get that. Number 4, what does THC stand for?
Oh, you're gonna hit me with that. I know it, but I'm gonna sound so crazy trying to say the whole scientific word for it.
If you're close enough.
It's like I cannot remember it. Because it's trichloric acid or something like that. It's right around there. What is it?
It's tetrahydrocannabinol.
There it is, tetrahydrocannabinoid.
Last question. What's the name of the process that turns THCA into THC?
Decarboxylation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. That was the hardest one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
And then let me know where they could find you guys on social media.
Please. So we are at Extractor Depot under all handles. At Extractor Depot OKC is my store. And then, that's pretty much it. If you want to find me, mine is at Extractor Hero. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well,
Appreciate
you
you
so
guys.
much, man.
Thank you.
Money Talks Podcast. Watch it on all your devices. Woo!